Peace, Islam, LAOA, Sheekamauga Alamassee-El, coming at y'all live, deep, deep, deep down, the Alamassee Arabian country, deep in Arabia district, Al-Kamogi Meccan, to be exact. You dig? As we continue to deal with the remanifestation of a whole entire frequency, moving away from the whole Moorish demonstration, being a largely urban, in the last 80 or so years, being a mostly urban phenomenon, as we spread the whole woodland Moorish demonstration back on the terrain, get ourselves redispersed back on the land, the rivers, the creeks, the mountains, the lakes, the gulfs, the tributaries, the trails, deep in the clay, the red clay to be exact. You know what I'm saying? But as we redisperse ourselves on the terrain, the remanifestation of a culture is going to come with language, style of dress code, because it's way overdue. Because a lot of people are very stagnant, very bland. It's like, a lot of Mississippians, they've pretty much drained whatever they could out of the whole Negro NBC frequency, because it's very stagnant. There's no creativity, and people out here just look real bland, because everything you do, understand as a Mississippian, if you don't have your own nationality, vine and fig tree, flag, government, and whole copyrighted demonstration, you know what I'm saying? Because understand about the one thing about the Moorish demonstration is in recent times, over and over again, we've had that demonstration properly documented, trademarked, cataloged, and copyrighted for our people to use indefinitely. And is a demonstration that literally cannot be infiltrated by other nationalities and outsiders. Not legally anyway. I mean, it's up to you in the physical and in your day-to-day movements and, conducting yourself, in the physical plane to protect your birthrights and protect your nation and the validity of it. You know what I'm saying? But as far as, legally, nobody can infringe on the designation and demonstration of being Moorish in America. Only the original Mississippian phenotype can direct and control that demonstration. You know what I'm saying? So, but unfortunately, to so many of our people, opt out of being Moors, their ancestral lineage, their ancestral nation. You know what I mean? The vine and fig tree of their ancestors. Everything they have been able to do ever since 1865, everything you've done, everything you've created, since you don't have any international protection and you've opted out of your own nationality and your own vine and fig tree and opted out of being a national who governs him or herself according to treaties and international law. You wanted to be a United States citizen, and you wanted to sit up here and put yourself under management of foreign entities and foreign policies. So you wonder why you're dealing with things like police brutality and things of that nature, because you're under public policy. So you need to be managed because you're seen as a minority and a damn child because you opt out of having a nationality. You want to play NBC games and refer to yourself as a color. You know what I'm saying? And adopt a fake reconstructed history, his story that he gave you about yourself, and you accept it. So again, as other master teachers have said in the past, when you sit up here and accept this fake so-called black slave narrative that they gave you and your people and put on your people through these communist re-education demonstrations, Christian re-education demonstrations, post-1865 demonstrations, and you accepted that and you didn't do the due diligence, because ignorance of the law is no excuse. That's an age-old phrase. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. You know what I'm saying? But if you never, because again, there's always something deep, deep, deep down in your DNA that always told all of our people that something's been wrong ever since the mid 1800s, and all of this stuff was kind of forced on our people. You know what I'm saying? All these fake designations and misdesignation and miseducation and everything and denationalization been forced on our people. Something deep, deep, deep down has told the majority of us, the majority of us in our DNA, that something is wrong. But you just never had enough people, a large enough faction of people who just really wanted to toss the entertainment, the having fun, the BSing around, and being able to act like a grown child all your life to the side for a little bit of time, for one generation, just to do the knowledge, discipline themselves, and just focus on the task at hand of renationalization and figuring out what happened to you and your people. So you won't have to suffer the atrocities of being economically blacklisted, having everything stolen from you, having literally no access to resources, having your communities invaded and trampled over by foreigners, having your children dying younger and younger every generation, having your families broken up. Again, it's like there has never been a large enough faction of our people until recent times that really wanted to sit down, put the BS to the side for one generation and just figure out what happened. It's just really mind boggling. You know what I'm saying? How you could be so much in your lower self for so long, juke joking and dancing, jazz clubbing it up, and all these years, just BSing around and having a good old time. Just waiting to get your work done so you can get off and go F around. You know what I'm saying? Go create more babies and drink liquor and do all type of nonsense that a lot of people have been doing the last damn near 200 years, or 150 years, or 175 years, however long it's been since 1865. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy. But if you don't, the fact that you don't have your own vine and fig tree, and you never wanted to figure that out till recently, that means literally everything, millions and billions of dollars of birthrights and intellectual property, all types of things that has been created by this nation, the people of the Mississippian nation, the old Moorish nation, who redesignated as NBCs, Negroes, Blacks, and Colors, has been able to be stolen by foreign other nationalities. So literally the estates and the generational wealth has been eaten away at, like generation after generation, because you don't have a national entity to protect your intergenerational wealth, your intellectual property, your money, your gold, anything to pass on to the next generation. So it's gotten smaller and smaller to the point to where they're putting out articles talking about how so-called fake black wealth will be zero by 2050. And all that's due to denationalization. But goofies out here want to talk about everything under the sun besides renationalization and being under their own vine and fig tree. Because a lot of these people are just grown, they're like 40 and 50-year-old, 30-year-old, 20-year-old, damn near children. You know what I'm saying? They really don't, because understand, this is what I've always driven home, is that having your own nation, fending for yourself, going out here with it every day, it doesn't leave much time to be out here dealing with entertainment, goofing off, playing around, running up and down the street, clubbing, BSing around. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't leave much time for that. And inherently, a lot of Mississippian people know that. So they don't want to. So they don't want to leave the designation of NBC, Negro, Black, Colored, because understand, being under so-called white supervision or being under U.S. supervision, where you have to have your life managed because you're seen as a minority or a grown child, that's okay with a lot of these people, because again, it's a lot more fun. I mean, not keep it, but even for my own, I'll admit, it's a lot more fun to have your whole entire life managed. You know what I'm saying? Get your little job, go to work 40 hours a week, be able to get off on the weekends, play around, take your little BS vacations. You may be taxed to death. You may come in with a credit score or whatever. You may have to go work in hostile corporate environments where you have to suffer passive aggressive humiliation all the time and be around all these hostile other nationalities that don't respect you. I mean, I guess that's just a casualty of war to a lot of these people. They rather that is a lot easier though, to go ahead and deal with that, but you can still go BS around, get your little money, play games on the weekends, get drunk, go play cards, and you know what I'm saying, go have your little family reunions and BS around. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot easier than having your own nation. Have to go outside and survey land, have to go outside and patrol, have to control your own central bank, have to send diplomats to different nations, have to always be on patrol, developing your military might, and always be on your game. You know what I'm saying? Like having whole groups of people within your nation who have to literally sacrifice pretty much every bit of fun in their life to go out here and give their life to the cause of preserving the nation. You know what I'm saying? They don't get to have no fun. They might have to spend months and years at sea. Ain't no partying and drinking and BSing around and spending months at sea. You know what I'm saying? Going out and doing international trade or patrolling the waters and stuff like that. There's none of that. But to a lot of you people, a lot of the Mississippian people, unfortunately, I mean, it's easier to just, again, have your life entirely managed. You know, you might get beat upside the head by a billy club, by a policy enforcer or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I guess, you know, that's the cost of doing business, to be a grown ass child your whole damn life. You know what I'm saying? It's just real. It's just mind boggling. It really is. And it's taking this long. You know what I'm saying? But literally, the only way, literally, our people suffer from a lack of nationality. So literally, the only way that you will ever be able to pass on generational wealth and protect yourself is through renationalization. You know what I'm saying? So you got a lot of clowns out here, and we're always going to keep talking about this. You always have so many clowns out here that want to be everything but being a Moor. Understand, the United States, when it was formed, it literally had to ask the Sultan of Morocco, who was a Mississippian man, looking like yours truly. He might have looked like a big meat. He might. I've already talked about this. The Sultan of Morocco, Sidi Muhammad III, in around 1783 or 1786, when they signed a treaty of peace and friendship with Morocco, that literally gave the United States a right to even damn near exist. You know what I'm saying? Literally. If Sidi Muhammad III did not sign the treaty of peace and friendship with the United States would cease to exist. They would not be able to do trade. They would have had no protections. They would have had nothing. They would have not been able to move around internationally or on the American main continent of North America. They wouldn't have been able to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? They literally had to ask Sidi Muhammad III, who was a Mississippian Asiatic man, looking like yours truly. They had to ask an Asiatic man. So while they done gave you all this fake slave narrative that all you was a slave, and you was running around in tattered clothes all over a plantation. Literally, George Washington and the United States Congress, under the Articles of Confederation, before they even ratified the first Constitution, had to sit up there and ask an Asiatic Moorish man for the right to even exist in North America. So while you got all these goofy, you know what I'm saying, you got goofy Aboriginals, you know what I'm saying, talking about just some Aboriginal Indians, and you got goofy fake wannabe American Indians and call themselves fake black Indians and whatever other goofy designation. I won't even go into the alphabet boy designation these clowns is out here pushing too. You know what I'm saying? It's just anything under the sun but being a Moor. You know what I'm saying? Literally. The only recognized actual nation that actually had the right to do real treaties, internationally recognized treaties on the continent and the land of North America, was the Moorish nation. There was never no Aboriginal treaty. There was never no Black Indian treaty. There was never no Alphabet Boy treaty. There was never no Black treaty. You know what I'm saying? There was no colored Negro treaty. Nowhere in history. So if you sit up here claiming to be anything but a Moor or a Moorish American under the 5 or the 6, the Islam and the Hebraic, the indigenous cultures of America, literally, you are a minority. You are a grown child, and you need to have your life managed under policy enforcement. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have literally no rights, and you're going to get no respect. Literally, you know, we're gonna start saying Aboriginal is the new black. You know what I'm saying? You calling yourself a dumb Aboriginal, you are the new black. You know what I'm saying? That's all you are. So instead of it being NBC Negro Black and Colors, it's gonna be ANBC, Aboriginal Negro Black and Color. Cause you just gotta be a damn cornball, goofy lame. Like, literally, you gotta be mentally retarded. You know what I'm saying? If you still out here running around claiming anything other than the Moor being in America, because literally the Moors are the only documented nation, the only documented nation, powerful nation in North America prior to the United States that was really able to do treaties and give any foreign European nation any type of rights to do business in America. Literally, it was the Moors. That's it. There was never no Cherokees. There was never no Chickasaws. There was never no Choctaws. There was never none of these fake tribes. You know what I'm saying? None of these fake nations had no dang on power. You know what I'm saying? To give the United States to do nothing. All the fake Cherokees, the fake Choctaws, the fake whatever they want to call themselves, because these are all reconstructed European terms. These are not the original terms, because understand, the original terms for these places and these so-called tribes, which is really just districts and states, are Muslim. You know what I'm saying? So Cherokee is Tasalagi. You know what I'm saying? Chickasaw, Sheekamauga. You know what I'm saying? Creek, Miccosukee, Alabama. Those are the Creeks. You know what I'm saying? The real names of the Yamasees. You know what I'm saying? The Uchis, the real Islamic names of these places. But don't nobody claim that. All y'all clowns claim all the fake $5 Indian stuff. But again, doing the delineation, because what we're gonna address in this tap in is the fact that in the Moorish demonstration, the main reason why there's so animosity, I mean, there's a lot of reasons why there's a lot of animosity against the whole Moorish demonstration, but we're gonna go over one of the main reasons. One of the main reasons why the Moors get so much flack, and don't nobody want the Mississippian people to go back to being Moors. You know what I'm saying? Especially they especially don't want Mississippian men to go back to being Moors. And let me tell you why. Let me tell you the main reason. This is what we're going to go into in this drop. Now, first of all, we're going to continue. We know one of the biggest themes and one of the biggest subjects I like to discuss in these drops is the Southern Barbary Wars, and the Barbary Wars in America. But specifically, I love talking about the Southern Barbary Wars because it really drives a lot of the points home and eliminates a lot of the slave narrative. It eliminates a lot of the fake slave narrative that they've given us all these years. If you really know how to read between the lines, you know what I'm saying. But one thing that they will tell you, the history books will literally tell you about the Southern Creek Wars that happened around the War of 1812. Between 1812 and like 1815, the Southern Creek Wars and the Barbary Wars, and they extended all the way up to 1865, essentially. You know what I'm saying? But one thing they will tell you about the Southern Creek Wars, the Red Stick Wars, the First and Second, Third Seminole Wars. One thing that you can do the knowledge, and they're gonna tell you about them, even though they like to refer to the Second Seminole War this, but it was all of the Creek, because the Creek Wars and the so-called Seminole Wars are literally the same war. They're the Southern Barbary Wars. Literally, they're the same war. You know what I'm saying? They like this. Again, they give us this reconstructed history because they want to. The main thing is to use all these new reconstructed terms to steer you away from the history of Morocco and the Moorish Barbary states in America. You know what I'm saying? That's the main thing they're trying to write out of history, because they don't want us to. They do not want the Moorish demonstration ever coming back. That was the whole oath that everybody took once the Moors was defeated. You know what I'm saying? So check it out. So one thing they will tell you about the Southern Barbary Wars, they'll keep it a buck with you. They call the Southern Creeks, the Southern Creek Wars, the Southern Red Stick War, and the Southern Seminole Wars. They will tell you in the history book that they call them the Negro Wars. I'm going to say that again. They call it the Southern Creek Wars, the Red Stick Wars, the First, Second, and Third Seminole Wars. They call them the Negro Wars. And that's what we're going to drive home in this post. In this tap in. One of the biggest reasons why they don't want, especially mainly the Mississippian men, to be Moors again. And there's so much vitriol and hate, even by lame cuck type of simp Mississippian men themselves who claim to be fake Aboriginals and Indians and all that. Because essentially, let me tell you why these clowns that don't want to be Moors, these Mississippian men, they want, and then you got a lot of fake foreigners from the Caribbean and all type of other places. You know what I'm saying? And no knock on all my Caribbean people, but you do got a lot of fakers and foreigners coming in that hate Moors too. So they want to claim Aboriginal. You got clowns coming from Costa Rica running their mouths about Noble Drew Ali and all. I don't even got to call them mestizo names out. You know what I'm saying? You got these clowns that's coming in out of nowhere, foreigners running their mouths about Mississippian culture. You know what I'm saying? One thing about these people, they can only run their mouths on the internet, because if they ever run into a real Mississippian on the street, I mean, they literally is finna get a baby powder pimp slap, a backhand slap across their face. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just don't play like that, because you ain't got no reason speaking on Mississippian culture. But you got a lot of Mississippian men out here that want to claim to be fake black Indians and fake Aboriginals and all that clown stuff. Let me tell you deep down why these brothers that keep on wanting to claim fake Aborigine status and all of that. These are the type of brothers that are real simps. You know what I'm saying? Like, they are simps. They are like mama's boys. You know what I'm saying? Because deep down they understand. In the old Moorish America, when the Moorish Barbary states were strong in America, one of the common elements of the Moorish Barbary states was the Moorish Barbary states, the dons and the sheiks and the high-ranking officials in the Moorish Barbary states were the Mississippian Moorish men. You know what I'm saying? The last time the Mississippian Moorish men had their own mafia, had their own demonstration where they were the bosses and the dons and the godfathers and the holy leaders. You know what I'm saying? And literally they had international power, international recognition. They could get things done. They had followers. People followed them by the thousands, damn near by the millions. Moorish men, Mississippi Asiatic men, looking just like yours truly. You know what I'm saying? The last time you had brothers that might look like H. Rap Brown, or might have looked like hell, might have looked like Lil Boosie or somebody. You know what I'm saying? In the old Moorish demonstration, that's the last time these brothers had real power. You know what I'm saying? Where literally, like today, a lot of these brothers are marginalized. You know what I'm saying? Like, and their minds are messed up due to denationalization. So they can get bagged up by the authorities and the police, and they can get harassed and get their wealth stolen and all that stuff. But there was a point in time in the so-called in America, as recently as the 1800s, where that was not the case. Because in the Moorish demonstration in the Barbary states, the Asiatic Mississippian men were the dons. You know what I'm saying? We were the bosses. So when you got clowns and goofies out here talking about they want to be aboriginals, they want to be everything under the sun except being a Moor, and you got I give a lot of the women a pass. You know what I'm saying? The women's. I give the women that don't want to be Moorish. You know what I'm saying? I don't expect some of these crazy people, some of these crazy females. You know what I'm saying? To know any better. You know what I'm saying? But you and that's no knock on the Moorish women, because you got a lot of Moorish women that stay down and they fight to the end. It's always been that way. That's why our nation has never went nowhere. We've always been here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the Moorish men and the Moorish women. You can't get us apart for nothing. The real ones. You know what I'm saying? That really rep the cause. But the fact that you got so many fake clowns out here that want to be everything under the sun. They want to be African Pan-Africans. They want to be, you know what I'm saying? They want to be blacks. They want to be aboriginals. They want to be black Indians. They want to be, you know what I'm saying? They want to be indigenous blacks. They want to be whatever clown mess they want to be. These people know. These people know deep down in their soul. These men that claim this stuff. Because again, I don't speak on the women. You know what I'm saying? I kind of give them a pass for it. I don't expect no better. But for the men that still sit out here claiming and want to be everything but a Moor, they know damn well that claiming anything but being a Moor is still putting you under warden state status and putting you under so-called U.S. white supervision. So you can still be a damn minority and be a child. So you as a man, you don't want to be a Moor. You don't want to be a sheik. Because that holds you to standards, that holds you to a code of conduct, that holds you to your word, that holds you to a religion, that holds you to just having to deal with a system of honor. You know what I'm saying? Now, you clowns still claiming aboriginal and you don't want to be Moors. Y'all know that there's a lot of protections being wards of the state and the so-called United States citizens and all that, being fake aboriginals. Y'all can still be dirtbag, goofies, pork-eating clowns. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can be simps. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like, because at the end of the day, there's somebody managing your life for you. Now, when you claim to be a Moor, y'all deep down know all that stuff goes out the window, and you literally got to go out here and hold the line yourself with your brothers, with your Moorish brothers, and you are literally where the buck stops. A lot of people are afraid of that, and you got a lot of fake simp corny men out here talking about they some aboriginals and everything under the sun but being a Moor. They know deep. That's why they don't want to be Moors. Deep down in their soul, because they understand. You claim a Moor, trust me, you got to get out here and you got to get it. You know what I'm saying? All the talking, taking the oath, taking shahada, and actually claiming to be a real Moor from the nation for real. That means you got to get out here and you got to get it. You got to really hold the line if you really about that life. You know what I'm saying? And that's always been the case. Like, literally, you got to go out here. You got to go out here and really fight. You know what I'm saying? You literally got to go out here and really get it. You know what I mean? So again, man, a lot of these people deep down know that, and that's why there's a collective effort to steer our people away from the Moorish demonstration, because everybody knows that in the old Moorish culture in America, that it was led by the holy Moorish men. You know what I'm saying? And the holy Moorish men were vessels of Allah. So literally, these are men of power. These are men with great oratory skills. These were great fighting men. These were men that could translate scripture. These were men that could get thousands of people to follow them, thousands of people to organize, thousands of people to fight. You know what I'm saying? These when Moorish men had power. The Moorish men, the Mississippian men in America ain't never had the same power, ain't never had the same authority since the time the Moorish nation and Barbary states existed in America. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to go over today in this tap in. We're going to show that We're going to show that in the Barbary states, the Moorish men were the bosses. You know what I'm saying? And that's not to denigrate the sisters, because understand, then there's been a whole play where the Europeans have always tried to play the sisters against them and try to talk about when they don't want to y'all, they were trying to always get y'all away from the Barbary states and being in the Moorish states, because they tried to, they always tried to fill the sisters' heads up saying that, oh, them Moorish men, they some slave drivers, they oppressing y'all. Y'all should be with us. You can be free. And you know what I mean? You don't have to be so strict and be Muslim and be with those men and support those men. They some savages, they some thugs, they blah, blah, blah. And unfortunately, a lot of people go for that type of stuff. Because again, the propaganda against the Moorish men it got so great, even back in the 1800s. I mean, it was always a building piece of propaganda, and that infiltrated our own communities. You know what I'm saying? And to this day, the fake black gender wars, that's a result of all of that. Literally. You know what I'm saying? But it's always been a play, because these people understand that if Moorish men are allowed to get on their square, you know what I'm saying, get back in their Moorish demonstration, they are going to literally rally thousands and millions of people to this cause. Just naturally through their God DNA, through their oratory skills, through their creativity, through their style of dress, through them being the vessels to the higher realms and higher frequencies, just naturally. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. So we're going to tie that to the so-called Southern Creek Wars and the so-called Negro Wars. We're going to tie that in, and we're going to show how the Moorish men, even with all the odds against them, they were still able. These brothers were so powerful in the South, in the Midwest, and everything. You know what I'm saying? And they were so holy with it, and just excellent leaders. And with the charisma, you know what I'm saying? They had the charisma. That's why, even with, I hate, we don't want to associate with degenerate behavior, but even like the so-called pimps and iceberg slims that we've seen, how they are, the charisma that these brothers have, the rappers, all this is nothing new with the Moorish men. But imagine having a real brother with the charisma of like a Tupac, you know what I'm saying? Back in the back in the 1800s, who was free of European supervision, and he was able to speak and rally just thousands of people to fight in a cause. You know what I'm saying? That's really what the Southern Creek Wars and the Southern Seminole Wars, they were a result of these Moorish men in the South being able to rally thousands of people to fight and die. You know what I'm saying? For this cause. So we're going to go into it. We're going, you know what I'm saying? We're going to tap in, and we're going to talk about how the Southern Creek Wars, you know what I'm saying, were really the Negro Wars. And when they say Negro Wars, that means that the so-called Negro men, or the Moorish men, were organizing these Moorish armies in the South and militias and fighting with the United States, the so-called United States. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to really go in on that. So, yeah. Yeah. 1 second. I got to get me. We're going to come right back. And, you know what I'm saying? Hold on.